Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to review another episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch, episode 11, The Devil's Deal, I believe. Let me just double check. It is episode 11. Yep. So yeah, in which this episode we see the seeds of rebellion format on the planet of Rybeloth, which I thought would be dealing with next episode, but no, it looks like it's a two-parter this time. Maybe even a third one, but I don't know. I have to wait and see. But anyway. The episode begins with like the capital of the Ryloth city, where we see Crosshair is putting his gun, observing like let's see a Twi'lek by the name of Gobi Gilly, who people may first remember appearing in supply lines and then being seen in Homecoming and all that stuff for like the Star Wars Rebels, as he's one of Syndulla's fighters. As we see that Vice Admiral Rampart. Let's see, Senator Onfrey Tar, General Cham Syndulla, and his wife, Elena Syndulla, where we finally get to see the first appearance of, as well as a clone captain by the name of Halza. The only clone that seems to have kept a clone captain who seems to have also kept the colors, as all of the clones have been erased their colors and all that stuff, once they've become, let's see, clones of the Galactic Empire. Where Rampart is discussing about Ryloth's citizens' discomfort with the Empire's president of Ryloth. Onfrey Tar is insisting otherwise, claiming that he speaks for the people and he speaks for the Empire and all that stuff. See, with the senator then asking like Elena about if she agrees to this, though she's agrees to it, though she's in favor of whatever benefits Ryloth and all that stuff, and then. Let's see, we have like Onfrey Tar trying to assure the people, however, they're not happy with him and all that stuff, as they don't trust him. And then Cham Syndulla, after being swayed by like the senator, the captain, and that stuff, he tries to assure the Empire, the citizens, that the war is over, they no longer have to fight, and they can lay down their arms and just let the Empire control their security and all that stuff. And the citizens calm down on this. And the citizens calm down with this, much to the jealousy of Onfrey Tar and all that stuff. Showing that Senator Cham Syndulla actually has the loyalty of the people, not him. As the speech is over and all that stuff, Vice Admiral Rampart, or is it Admiral Rampart now? I gotta check. Let's see. Vice Admiral, Vice Admiral, apparently. I thought he was promoted, but my mistake there. He ends up asking, Elena Syndulla where Hera is, which we see that she's actually spying on the Imperial mining outpost with Chopper, as we see a sort of like I think a teenage version of, Hera, I assume. I don't know. I think I don't know what her exact age is, but yeah, young Hera Syndulla. However, she is caught. After the duo are caught by clone troopers, and they're taken back to Cham Syndulla and clone Captain Halza, who's due to this seems this like friendship with Cham Syndulla, he'll look the other way this time, but it better not happen again. But he says it should not help it not happens again with Cham Syndulla trying to tell off Hera, though she ends up saying that she was doing it for Gobi and all that stuff. This leads to Gobi and Cham having a bit of a debate on whether or not about the Imperial occupation, with Gobi saying that this is not what they wanted. The clones were supposed to leave Ryloth once the war was over. You have a Cham Syndulla's trying best he can to avoid having another conflict that gets his people involved and all that stuff. So yeah. Eventually, eventually Gobi with Onfrey Tar do a bit. Eventually Gobi ends up planning to buy off some weapons from a supplier. Hera comes along with them, though at first she seemed a bit reluctant after being told off by her parents not to cause any trouble. However, he tempts her by trying to fly. As we see throughout the episode, Hera Syndulla is looking up to the skies, imagining flying, and she speaks this to her dad and all that stuff. So they end up, let's see, going off to the moon to fill a supply thing. However, Crosshair, who's been observing, has, let's see, planted a tracker on them. Let's see, as I think, let's see, Onfrey Tar is trying to tell Vice Admiral Rampart that, let's see, Charm Syndulla cannot be trusted. However, he's been more cooperative than, let's see, the Senator's been going on about for the time being. So, anyway, let's see, Gobi and Hera end up, let's see, landing on like one of the moons of Lilith, in which they encounter, well, one of the nearby planets, because they're not really wearing breath masks and all that stuff, so I assume it must be, I don't know, a moon that's at least a habitable moon or something. As then we end up seeing the Bad Batch arrive with the supplies and all that stuff, and Omega's with them, though, probably implying that either, let's see, a Hunter lost the match again last time, or that, or since this is a supply run, let's see, he feels like this is a safe mission to take Omega along with all that stuff, as they brought weapons and explosives and all that stuff. As they, let's see, it's revealed that Gobi, let's see, ordered from Sid. Let's see, well, you get to see Hera and Omega bond, as Hera gets to look inside the Bad Batch ship with let's see, Omega showing her around, with like Hera telling, let's see, Omega that to be a pilot, you just need to feel, you just have to feel it and all that stuff, not all the technical stuff that Omega has been learning from Tech, who will not let her ride it until you memorize all the protocols. Of course, Tech would do that. Anyway, with, let's see, Hera and Omega becoming friends and that stuff, let's see, the two groups depart, though. The Bad Batch warn Gobi to be careful of like the constant supply missions that may be asking, because that will attract attention. However, he says they'll be careful. Unfortunately for him, let's see, the Empire already knows due to Crosshair. So, yeah, which I probably should mention, Crosshair is, let's see, it's revealed that he's mostly scarred or burnt around the back of his head, not the front, so he still looks a bit presentable, if you will. Anyway, he shoots down one of the let's see, the shuttle's engines, as, let's see, Gobi and Hera and this other Twi'lek are arrested. With this, let's see, Onfrey Tar accuses, like, Charm Syndulla of treason. However, Rampart says there's no precedent for that, but yeah. But over this, they're going to take them prisoner and all that stuff, possibly punish them and all that stuff. Charm Syndulla eventually learns, and Charm and Elena eventually learn of this, and let's see, try to at least hope that they can try and get, let's see, Hera out with a trial. However, when Chopper reveals that they've been declared guilty with no, let's see, with no trial, showing that of Onfrey Tar's influence and all that stuff. So they decide to go rescue their daughter. Let's see, and all that stuff. So eventually, let's see, Charm Syndulla and a few other Twi'leks stage, let's see, a rescue mission where they knock out the clones and that stuff. And eventually, let's see, they take, let's see, Vice Admiral Rampart and Onfrey Tar hostage, and also Captain Hauser. I should mention that Crosshair is not here and all that stuff with we'll see, with Onfrey Tar panicking, asking Rampart to do something. However, Rampart's complying because he's surrendering and all that stuff, and complying because he has a plan. With Hauser trying to negotiate with Charm Syndulla not to do this and all that stuff. However, Rampart's plan is revealed to be that he sent Crosshair to go into a sniping position to and shoot Onfrey Tar to make it look like an assassination attempt by Charm Syndulla before the Empire's forces arrive, making it look like he tried to kill the senator. Was he able to lock him away as a traitor? While Hera's managed to escape on a speeder and all that stuff, let's see, during the time when her parents managed to liberate, liberate her, they quickly get on the speeder with Chopper, taking them out of the area just before they all been captured. Let's see, so Charm Syndulla, his wife, and the Twi'lek rebels there have all been captured and taken away by the Empire, while Hera and Chopper have escaped on the speeder. Let's see, she's worried about her parents, ending the episode. First off, what an episode. This is the episode with the least amount of Bad Batch in it, as they've only really in one scene, which is to deliver supply runs for Sid. But you know what? I like it. I absolutely like this. In many ways, this reminds me of the Clone Wars. In many ways, in which this definitely reminds me of the Clone Wars, in which the main characters will not always appear in the episode. Granted, the Bad Batch do appear, but it's only briefly, and the episode is focusing on the Twi'leks and all that stuff, which is very interesting because last week's episode was focusing on a separatist planet under the Empire's occupation. Now we have like one of the Republic planets under the Empire's occupation as well. Where we see differently where the Twi'lek rebels who are not Twi'leks who are not happy that the clones under now the restriction of the Empire here when they were promised by the Republic that once the war is over they would be free. That they would be free of military occupation or military security, if you will. And that's not happened. So you have many discontent, including Onfree Tar's right-hand man, Gobi, who is staging, supply runs, secret supply runs to stage a rebellion, which one of his contacts is Sid, which I like how this gets the Bad Batch involved. All that stuff, but yeah. For this episode, I also like the fact that we get to see a young Hera Syndulla and Chopper. For Star Wars Rebels fans, this episode will be a treat. As not only do we see her young, we actually see her mother, who I assume I recall was dead by the time of Star Wars Rebels. And we see the early stages of Cham Syndulla eventually stage a Twi'lek rebellion against the Empire, all that stuff. But before that, we actually get to see that he tried to make the situation work. Trying to at least show the people they don't have to fight anymore, and he doesn't really want to fight, and he just wants his daughter to live a free, happy life. He doesn't want the fighting and tries to make best with the Empire's occupation, even though, the Empire has not been sharing all their secrets of what they're doing on Ryloth with him, and the fact that Onfree Tar is trying to undermine him wherever we see. Speaking of which, we end up seeing just how much of a corrupt, greedy scumbag Onfree Tar is, we've always known that he's a bit of a cowardly senator from previous Clone Wars appearance. He did always have the sympathy. He did always have this sympathetic. He did seem to have some genuine care for his people, but now it seems like he's putting his own interests first with the new Empire and all that stuff, and tries his best to just accuse Cham Syndulla of rebellion, even when he's not doing, and wants his daughter locked up and all that stuff. Eventually he gets shot in the head, which, some people are probably some kids might think, he's dead, but I think diehard Star Wars fans now that looks at the latest Disney lore and canon knows that Onfree Tar appears in a book called Lords of the Sith or something, or Sith Lords or something, which is a book that follows Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine as they deal with a rebellion on Ryloth. From my understanding, it's a very good book, one of Disney's best in the Star Wars things, as we end up seeing more details of the Twi'lek rebellion. But here we're seeing the origins, so yeah. I don't know what Onfree Tar's final fate will be by the time of the original trilogy, but who knows? We'll probably have to wait until after Lords of the Sith to see if he ever appears again. But now he's probably out of the picture. Anyway, I like to see. I'm a little disappointed that Crosshair isn't as scarred as we imagined, but I guess his face did look, wasn't exactly the bit that we saw being burned, as it was mostly the side of the head, which we see. However, we end up seeing. While he gets mostly a minor role here, he's quite effective in doing his job, as he just keeping an eye on Gobi, planting a tracker, shooting down the ship, and then making it look like Cham Syndulla ended up shooting. Onfree Tar. Since we know that he's here and the Bad Batch were doing supply things, we're probably going to get that next skirmish between the Bad Batch in the next episode, in which I'll get to in a bit later. So there's that. But anyway, getting back to Cham Syndulla, and particularly Gobi, who's literally a lot less trusting, gets Hera Syndulla involved, who's more than willing to, even though Cham Syndulla just wants her to be safe. All that stuff, and even Ellen Syndulla, while was supportive of her husband, does just voice her concerns with like what the Empire is doing on Fritar. Let's see, and all that stuff. However, we can see it is nice to see Hera, and we end up seeing that she ends up befriending Omega, who both have sort of like overprotective fathers, if you will. They both want a bit more independence. Well, they're both actually fun enough, but we end up learning that Omega actually wants to fly the ship. Let's see, the Bad Batch's ship. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry. However, Tech will not let her because he's being all technical about. You have to memorize every protocol, which is such a Tech thing to do, which is probably one of the reasons why Wrecker will never pilot the ship. But anyway. Anyway, I do like the let's see, little bonding moments. And we end up seeing Chopper as he looks more like a fresh new droid and all that stuff. But yeah, I do like how she originally was trying to listen to her parents until Gobi teased, "You get to fly this time," which that's probably a bad influence uncle there to some extent. It's like, don't get, let's see, your honorary niece involved in a potential rebellion, if you ask me. But heck. But she's willing to do it and all that stuff. And eventually, when she and the others get captured, this is when Cham Syndulla finally starts to sort of like rebelling, or sort of like as he just wants this like his daughter rescued and all that stuff. Let's see, and he probably might have tried to do some sort of negotiations, maybe with Vice Admiral Rampart if he was willing, but clearly that's not the case. And I do like how he ends up with saying to on Fritar right to his face that, "You're the one who sold out our people. You're the traitor." Which, to be fair, he probably is. All that stuff. So, yeah. And I think now, after that he's been arrested and framed by Vice Admiral Rampart, let's see, Stitch Up framing and all that stuff, who is probably looking more and more like definitely who is probably besides Crosshair, the main antagonist of this first season at least. But anyway, with Cham Syndulla imprisoned and Hera's out escaping, I assume that she's probably going to try and get into contact with the Bad Batch to rescue her father and the Twi'lek friends. And then after this will start the rebellion on Twi'lek against the Empire, which lasts until the time of Star Wars Rebels, and probably until like the end of the gritty galactic civil war. Overall, it's a good episode. Let's see, you need the focus on what it needs to be on the Twi'leks, particularly Cham Syndulla. Let's see, Hera and Gobi, his wife. Let's see, the Bad Batch barely appeared, but it was effective in what they did. And let's see, the focus should be on that and stuff. But yeah, since the Bad Batch briefly appeared here, we can see how. Let's see, they're probably going to appear in the next episode to help free the Twi'leks and Ryloth and all that stuff. So there's that. Let's see, we get to see more of, Crosshair and Vice Admiral Rampart being like the evil duo with like with Rampart trying to be the negotiator, but also manipulating events to his favor once the situation gets a bit out of hand and all that stuff, and has a lack of care for like the senator. And used his apparently attempted assassination for his own gains. All that stuff. So there. I also kind of like how I find interesting that we have a clone trooper with Captain Hauser who still keeps this sort of like bluish or blue kind of, or turquoise color. With the paintings and the armor showing that at the very least the captains of the clones and commanders keep their paint gear, I guess, to signify their rank from the looks of things. Whether other clone seems to be just plain old white. And it's interesting that he doesn't seem to be completely like the rest of the clones after Order 66. He seems to have still some of his like negotiable personality and all that stuff, or a bit of free will. He seems to have kept the bond with like Cham Syndulla, given the think that they work together to defend Ryloth after the Battle of Ryloth in the first season. And tries to look the other way when Hera is charged in prison and all that stuff. Let's see. And then tries to reason with On Fritar not to break out. However, as we see, it's all happened. Overall, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. Let's see. And I'm looking forward to the next episode of Rebellion on Ryloth next week. I'm Blue Star Saber, signing off. May the Force be with you.